Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for attending tonight. As we give it a few minutes to let you come in, I see the population growing. We're up to 20, 25. We'll be starting momentarily. Thank you for your patience. As you join us tonight, thank you for attending this gala. We're going to give it a few minutes before we start. If you're just joining us, thank you for coming tonight. We appreciate you taking time out of your day. We're going to get started momentarily as we wait for people to enter the room. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just coming in, we're giving it a moment to populate our waiting room here to our actual event. Welcome to the Dreamline Gala. We're excited that you're here, and we'll start momentarily. Wow, this is great. The number's climbing. Thank you for attending our gala tonight. We'll be starting momentarily, just giving folks a chance to enter the room. It's a good time to get a quick drink and sit back and relax and be ready to engage in some wonderful performances as we get started in about 1 minute. If you're just entering the room, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for attending tonight's gala. We'll be starting momentarily as we wait for the rest of the folks to come into the event. We're so happy you're here tonight for this very important cause. And we'll get started with a video welcoming you in about 1 minute. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for waiting and being patient. We are ready to kick things off. Thank you so much for coming tonight for this very important event as we experience the Dreamline Gala. And here we go.
My dream is that everyone have equal rights and equal in the standard of living.
Dream a world where
Dream of a world that
I dream a world where
dream.
my dream
I dream a world. I dream a world. I dream a world where man no other will scorn, where love will bless the earth and peace its paths adorn. I dream a world where all will know sweet freedom's way, where greed no longer saps the soul, nor avarice blights our day. I dream a world. I dream a world. I dream a world. I dream a world. A world I dream where black or white, whatever race you be, will share the bounties of the earth, and every man is free, where wretchedness will hang its head, and joy like a pearl attends the needs of all mankind. Of such I dream. A world. A world I dream where black or white, whatever race you be, will share the bounties of the earth, and every man is free, where wretchedness will hang its head, and joy like a pearl attends the needs of all mankind. Of such I dream. I dream. I dream. A world. A world.
Welcome. I'm Jeffrey Harlan, and it is my extraordinary pleasure to welcome each one of you to this extraordinary evening of Dream Forward. I'm the founder of Dreamline, and when I hear those words, those powerful words written by Langston Hughes at the beginning of the 1900s and how they resonate in our lives today, when I hear the passion and the purpose that J. Warren Mitchell and all the others are bringing into this space, then it helps me to understand why we're here and what we're doing. Each one of us has a contribution to make. And at this time in history, at this moment I just want to take this space to make a statement from Dreamline. As Hughes wrote, from his point in history, so we too are confronting challenges in our own point in history. And the following statement is from Dreamline. In response to the rising tide of violence against Asian American community, recent horrific incident of white supremacist violence that took 8 lives, 6 of whom were Asian American women, and in response to other recent acts of gun violence, Dreamline stands in solidarity with Asian and Pacific Islander communities, with all those in condemnation of systemic racism, misogyny, and hate-based actions. We stand in solidarity with all those committed to the defeat of white supremacy. We take very seriously our responsibility to create safe spaces for meaningful conversations, share the power of communities we have had the privilege to connect with, and to pursue anti-racist change in our world. We'll now have a moment of silence to honor that resolve. Thank you. Now we will begin our journey for this evening. Those values that are so important and essential to Dreamline have always been what we have been about. When we ask students to take the time to think about what really matters to them, to make it in a statement of art and words, and to share it as a first and not final action to take their dream out into the world. And I'm just going to tell you a little bit about what's in store for tonight. And just to reflect for some of those of you who are not familiar with the program, students create Dreamline banners that express their dreams. It has reached all over the world. We know that this program engages students in many deep and meaningful ways as they listen to the dreams of other students, as they reflect on their own values and the problems that they want to change in the world, as they create their Dreamline banner and express that dream, and as they share it in not just art and words, but also in actions and their statements of how they're going to follow through on that dream. So we've seen this program affect students in powerful ways in many places around the world in small numbers. And even in COVID, we've seen these extraordinary results from students who are expressing their dreams all around the world through our digital platform. And now we're at a place right now where we are responding to the need to bring this program out into the world to reach many, many more children than we ever have before. And this is the cover of our strategic plan. I won't go into the details of it, but it is the result of a 6-month process that was about an extraordinary group of people deciding and coming up with a strategy to bring Dreamline to many, many more students around the world. And not just that, but also to increase the level of engagement for each and every student who participates in the program. I'll talk to you more about that later. But right now, I want to get to a few thank yous and then move right into the content of our program. I do want to say thank you to an extraordinary group of people. There are many of them, but our table sponsors are people who in this virtual event have included others in their community to say thank you. Sorry, that's the wrong slide. And as we go through this, we always learn how to move in one direction or another. Our virtual sponsors, our table sponsors, are people from all over the country. Pennsylvania, the District of Columbia, New York, California, Florida, Kentucky, Nebraska, New Mexico, Hawaii, New Jersey, and Rio de Janeiro. People in all of these places have brought their friends and loved ones into the Dreamline space. You're probably wondering what you can do to give to Dreamline from that slide I showed you just a minute ago, but I'm not going to tell you yet because I want you to listen. I want you to hear from all of the different perspectives that have come together in a collaborative effort to share with you and to share with a wider community the importance of this work, especially at this time. And so, with no further ado, I'm going to turn the show over to our incredible hosts, our gala host this evening, Sophia Simon, Sarita Lewis, and also Dr. Lauren Plant. They're going to introduce themselves a little bit, and I'm going to hand it right over to them. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Sarita Lewis. I am so excited to be here with you all. I actually started working with Dreamline back in 2018 when I met Jeffrey while I was supporting some work with Global Citizen, and we were able to plan the kickoff activities for King Day of Service, and it was phenomenal. And I was just hook, line, and sinker all about Dreamline. And it has been my pleasure to not only have worked with him then, but to have continued this work that's really valuable to our children by supporting these efforts across Philadelphia. It is my pleasure to work with you guys, and I'm excited to be here.
Welcome, everyone. It's truly such an honor to be here beside individuals with such huge and amazing hearts. I met Jeffrey last year and we're already bringing Dreamline to Brazil, and it's going to be amazing. We're so excited. My name is Sophia Simon. I'm from the beautiful country of Brazil, and I've just graduated from USC. I work with music, helping to make both artists and fans' dreams come true. And my dream is to change the world with music. We're so excited to welcome all of you into our world, a place where everything is possible and where no one is scared to dream.
And my name is Lauren Plant. I am a music professor at Rowan University, and I'm coming to you this evening from Haddonfield, where I live, Haddonfield, New Jersey. And I'm very happy to be here as well. This is such an inspiring evening. I've known Jeffrey for over 20 years. He's a great singer. We've sung a lot and we've concertized a lot, but this project is even bigger than all of those things. And so I want to lend my support and make sure that I can bring whatever energies I can to make sure that everybody knows how wonderful this project is. I just wanted to say something. If you will take this opportunity to give in support of Dreamline this evening, that would be so wonderful. And you are able, and if you're able, you can give at any time with the information that we have on the screens behind us. But if you can stay a while, and you can wait and hear from Jeffrey and the others and about the power of music and the power of this dream and how your impacted gift will affect it. And then you can give.
Awesome. So, okay, again, you guys can be a part of this experience and you can give. And we have so many amazing things for you guys to experience tonight. And I am so honored to be able to kick off this event by introducing you to somebody who I find to be an exceptional woman. In the legacy of Dr. Spock, her early career mentor, Dr. Laura Jana teaches the world about what matters the most in raising children to thrive in today's world. Her ability to engage audiences of parents, pediatricians, researchers, educators, Fortune 500 CEOs, policymakers, and everyone else have made her not only a spokesperson for the American Academy of Pediatrics, but also a global spokesperson on the human development sought out by the Today Show, CNN, NPR, Good Morning America, ABC and NBC News, Time, People, and many others, including in recent weeks, the UK Parliament. To be sure, she is an absolute treasure trove, and we're excited to have her here with us. She, on top of all of that, is also a mentor of Dreamline's Strategic Planning Committee. She's on the board of advisors and a longtime advocate of Dreamline. We are thrilled to welcome Dr. Laura Jana to our virtual stage.
Hello, and it is great to join you. I would like to start by just taking a moment to consider the definition of a dream. The first thing that likely comes to mind, and in fact, the first thing that appears in the dictionary, is that dreams are defined by a series of thoughts, images, and sensations occurring in a person's mind during sleep. For the purposes of our conversation and focus for today, however, let's consider the same definition, only without limiting how we think about dreams to only those that occur during sleep. In fact, thinking about dreams as a series of thoughts, images, and sensations occurring in a person's mind opens up a much broader and, I would suggest, even more important way of thinking about dreams, one that fits very well with the second definition of a dream as a cherished aspiration, ambition, or ideal. Okay, So I want you to hold that thought and the concept of a dream as both a cherished aspiration, ambition, or ideal, and as a series of thoughts, images, and sensations occurring in a person's mind. And allow me to take a moment to add some additional context as to why I am in so much support of Dreamline's goal of empowering students to move in the direction of their dreams through the use of art, words, sharing, and connectedness. As a pediatrician committed to improving life outcomes for children and helping to maximize every child's potential, I set out several years ago to take a closer look at exactly what skills every child needs to succeed in today's globally complex and rapidly changing world. Based on all I saw, read, and researched, right down to the neuroscience of connecting neurons in the developing brain, it became increasingly clear that in addition to the more traditional reading, writing, and arithmetic-like skills, which for the sake of convenience I refer to as IQ skills, there's a set of equally, if not even more important skills necessary for all of us to successfully navigate in and contribute positively to the world around us. And I decided to call these skills key skills, spelled QI. The fact that it sounds like the word key, as in K-E-Y, was intentional, since these skills certainly represent a key to future success. It also reflects that they are the complement to the IQ skills, IQ and QI. And finally, the word key, sometimes also pronounced chi, has been used across cultures and centuries to represent a positive life force that you can be born with, but that can also be developed. With that, allow me to share just a very quick introduction to the 7 key skills, each of which is not only critical to 21st century lifelong success, but I would suggest to you are introduced, nurtured, and embedded in Dreamline's simple yet powerful program. The first of the key skills are me skills, defined by self-awareness, self-control, or impulse control, along with focus and intention. In other words, me skills are what allow us to be in control of our own thoughts, feelings, and actions. After me skills are we skills, and we skills are the people or relationship skills needed to play well with others. Social emotional skills that allow us to actively listen to, communicate with, and ultimately understand, share, and get along with others. We skills are particularly and universally valuable in a world where it's become as important to know how to read other people as it is to read. Next are the why skills, which certainly involve asking the question why, but more broadly include exploration, curiosity, inquisitiveness, and asking all sorts of questions in order to better figure out how the world works. And while it is natural for children to question the world around them, making sure that they continue to be able to see the world as a question mark very much depends on our commitment to encouraging rather than squelching their natural sense of wonder. Will skills include grit and perseverance, and at the very heart of will is motivation. Now, there are 2 types of motivation. The first, extrinsic motivation, involves the use of rewards and punishments. While this approach may work in the short run and for relatively simple tasks, the complex challenges of the 21st century will demand more from our children. Simply relying on rewards has been shown to all but kill creativity, and in the long run, actually decrease motivation. Intrinsic or self-motivation is what we really want to cultivate, the kind of motivation that comes from within and that is fueled by passion and pride in one's accomplishments and contributions to the community and to the world. While you may not be accustomed to thinking of wiggling as a skill, the best way to understand wiggle skills is to recognize that physical and intellectual restlessness go hand in hand. In reading the innovation literature, you'll actually find that innovators are almost always described as physically restless. And I would suggest to you that not only children, but all of us learn best about the world around us when we are given the chance to physically interact with it. After wiggle comes wobble, a skill whose name comes from the phrase "weebles wobble, but they don't fall down," a reference to the very popular classic 1980s toys called Weebles that were egg-shaped and came with weights at the bottom so that it allowed them to wobble back and forth, but always remain standing. As skills needed to adapt to a rapidly changing world, wobble skills have gained special prominence. In order to raise more resilient children, able to thrive in such a world, we must make a habit of celebrating not just their successes, but giving them the space in which to try new things and, as will inevitably happen, make and learn from their mistakes as they do. And finally, Here's where I want you to think back to the concept of a dream that we discussed at the outset as both a cherished aspiration, ambition, or ideal, and a series of thoughts, images, and sensations occurring in a person's mind. That's because the culmination of the key skills are what if skills, or what I like to think of as possibility skills. What if skills represent the ability to imagine not just how the world is, but how the world could be. Our world clearly rewards those who can imagine the world they want to live in and then create it. Children excel at imagining new worlds, yet it has also been noted that the creative adult is the child that survived. The question we must therefore ask ourselves is one asked by developmental psychologist Jean Piaget. Are we forming children who are only capable of learning that which is already known, or should we try to develop creative and innovative minds capable of discovery throughout life? In addition to imagination, creativity, and innovation, I want to leave you with the clear picture that what if skills and the dreams so creatively and impactfully cultivated and shared by Dreamline also powerfully represent hope, the ability to imagine a world better than the one you're born into or circumstances better than the ones you're currently faced with. And that is why it's incumbent on all of us to ensure key for all. Just as I make the case that for strategic early investments in human capital development and the cultivation of foundational key skills in places like the World Bank, the US Chamber of Commerce, and the congressional briefings, I believe that investing in meaningful, tangible efforts of Dreamline can similarly help us come that much closer to achieving our collective goal of giving all children access to a world of possibilities. Great to join you all. Thank you for your support of Dreamline, and I look forward to taking any questions you may have.
Thank you so much, Dr. Laura. That was amazing. The what if skills definitely stuck to me. The idea that we can imagine the world we want to live in and then create it is truly phenomenal and so important to remember.
Oh, thank you. And I will say that when I first met Jeffrey, it became instantly clear that what Dreamline and what Jeffrey had created in this program, as warm and fuzzy and sweet as it seems, and it is, right, and fun to do, has so much more meaning, and it captures that essence of the what if skills that we want all children to have.
100%. And it's so important because most people forget about that nowadays. I think that's what's so amazing about Dreamline. We're spreading that to everyone.
Absolutely. And again, it's this, we tend to think of these things about self-awareness and creative expression as sort of a nice to have. And the case that I make is that it's increasingly becoming clear it's a must-have to improve people's, not only just their life outcomes, but their enjoyment of life and in their expression and their passions.
Mm-hmm. Audience, we have a moment or two for any questions you may have for Dr. Jana, and you can type them in the Q&A, and she will also respond to them throughout our gala. Thank you.
Now, it's time to get yourself set to create and dream. Just take a moment and you'll be so amazed when you meet Ibi Alao. If you've got a Gala card in the mail, you can use the back of it. You can also use a pencil and a piece of paper and something to write with. You can fold it in half if you like I'm trying to do. And I've got my pencil and I think I'm ready to go.
I'm ready.
All right, well, I'm going to jump in just for the last minute here because I am particularly honored to introduce you to Ibi Inca, who is a truly inspiring artist and a good friend who I first had the good fortune to meet many years ago in Omaha, Nebraska, where I live, as he worked his magic and generously shared with local school children his love of capturing dreams and fireflies in his acclaimed artistic works. Winner of the prestigious United Nations International Art Award, Ibi Inca was appointed Nigeria's art ambassador and United Nations Information Department attaché. He has spoken about art, reconciliation, and life to nearly 500,000 students across the United States. And now I am excited to let Ibi take things from here as he has agreed to share some of his time and talents with all of us in support of Dreamline. Ibi will be assisted by Dreamline staff member, Camille Batchelor.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Laura. It's been wonderful just being friends with you. And I tell you, the book that I just got, the Toddler Brain, has been just such an exposition. I know we won't have time to discuss it all tonight, but it's just beautiful. So thank you so much. And thank you all for joining us for this special evening. It has been a very humbling and honoring experience for me getting to know Jeffrey and the whole Dreamline activities and team. And so I'll get into it. Nothing inspires us more than the dreams we have ourselves. Art is a powerful tool to be able to interpret the dreams that we have, bring it to share with the world. So I'm going to show you something very, very simple. It's not about the aesthetically pleasing art that we are all used to. It's more about how to use art to realize our dreams. This is something that Dreamline has been doing since its onset. And so just kind of let's all do it together. If you have your pen or pencil and the paper, and a very simple activity, and then I'll just tell you a few things about the relationship to helping us realize our dreams afterwards. So I'll turn the computer this way so you can see my paper here. So you'll notice it's in landscape, so which is key because I think the paper that you have is also in landscape. And all right, so the first thing is you just take your pencil. If you have paint, please, by all means, come along with your paint. But I'm using this. I'm going to turn this light off so you can see very well. All right, so the first thing is make sure you are smiling and draw this giant smile right here on your paper. Very simple. You see, just a smile. We are going to convert this smile into a bowl. So the object we are making is something very traditional African. It's cutting from a gourd. And so it's not perfect. Your smile that you draw doesn't have to be perfect. It's just a natural occurring plant, but we dry it and it's converted to a bowl. It's called a calabash. So we are working with light a lot for this purpose. And what does light have to do with realizing an object, realizing a dream? So that's it, very simple. I hope you can all see that. All right.
Wow, that is a nice bowl.
Excellent, excellent, Camille. I love that. That's beautiful. So I wish I could see everyone's bowl now. Yes. So just very simple like that, like what Camille just showed us in her work. And this is all of the drawing we are going to do. Just one important element is where our light is coming from. Oh. So my light is coming from the left here. So hitting the bowl, and it means that this part of it is going to be lighter and this part of it is going to be darker. And you just take your pencil. You can do it, you can use crosshatch if you are familiar with it. Of course, the only technical term to remember here is chiaroscuro. This is the Italian word meaning balance between light and shade. The artist Rembrandt was a strong proponent of chiaroscuro. So you can make it like hatch like this, maybe cross hatch if you like, but I think hatch is okay.
Oh, you're so fast.
So I remember again, it's not about how aesthetically pleasing it is. It's really about communication of an idea. And so just lines, it's mostly just lines like that. And then it gets lighter. So maybe after the first one, you make as many lines or have as many lines as you make on the darkest part of it here. Okay. And then it gets lighter again.
Doing really good over here. I got some dark side in my bowl. I got a dark bowl.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, in the region, how much is dark, how much is light is just absolutely dependent on your dream, what you want your goal to look like. And so maybe at the end here, we can just leave it blank. You see, does it make sense? So it gets darker from the light. And then just like a dream, one of the strange things about making an object like this is it doesn't follow what is happening on the outside. So on the inside, the regions of shade are reversed. So instead of this part being this part being lighter, this part is going to be lighter, and then this will be darker. So let's see. The good thing about art is that you don't have to talk about it because it's right there for us to see. We'll be able to confirm whether it makes sense or not. So just like that. Do you get that, sir? Do you get that, Camille?
Yeah. Hold on, let me show you. Can you see this?
Oh, beautiful. That's excellent. Excellent.
Thank you so much.
I love it. I love it. That's a beautiful calabash. All right, so that's it really for the object we are making. And one important thing is wherever there's light, there is shadow. So we have to make our shadow on this side and just paint all that black, or use the darker shade of pen that you have. So that way it's sitting on something, it's not just hanging in the air. And so as I said, it's called a calabash. So maybe you can say my calabash.
My calabash.
Yes. All right, so I made this earlier. If you are using paint, this is what it's going to look like.
Oh, that's not fair. It's amazing.
Because with the paint, it takes a little bit more time. Maybe the painting will take about 10 minutes as compared to hopefully the 5 minutes it took us to shade the calabash. So that's what you have, balance between light and shade, chiaroscuro. So I want to highlight just 3 things to note about this. The first is that simplicity. So the simplicity part is real important. I didn't make this and bring it here tonight. We all did it together, and we're able to realize an object with the impact of light on it, just as we see in a photograph. So no wonder, dreaming when it comes to realizing something, it's always important to start with either writing it down or drawing. And so that's the first thing, the simplicity. And it also gives us the possibility for achievement. Light and dark, very important here. So you know how when we have a dream, an aspiration, we also have challenges. And so that we shouldn't be afraid of challenges. Think of the light as the dream and going forward, and think about the shadow. Think of the shadow as the challenges that come. Without the shadow, this thing will not make sense. Without the light, this whole thing we won't even see anything. So let's always be aware that whenever we dream something, whenever we are going forward, there are challenges, and those challenges are a part of realizing our dreams. And the last point is emptiness of the bowl. And so notice that it's empty. So this is just in reference to that, when we begin something, there's nothing there. Before the dream, when we dream, then we can begin to realize the way forward. A lot of children will ask me that, why don't I feel it with something? So that kind of leaving our heart empty provides the opportunity. Leaving an empty platform kind of gives us the opportunity to feel with dreams. And so those are the 3 points here. Dreamline does this all the time. I know from discussion with you guys, that's kind of like the way the banners are born, that you all start with a blank canvas and then you have something. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Ibby. That was so amazing. And I'm very happy it's not about aesthetic because I am definitely not an artist like you are.
Oh, look at that. That's beautiful. I really want to see everyone's work now. That's
I'm trying to see if I can put mine up.
I love it. I love it.
The light, the light. Okay.
That's
I think you almost saw
beautiful.
it.
That's beautiful. That's
You
beautiful.
inspired us.
That's great. Oh my goodness, Laurie. That's what I'm talking about. Because if you ask, right, Camille, when you ask, can you draw or paint, people will say no, and then you all produce this. How can I believe anymore? No, this is great. Thanks for participating in this.
That's so inspiring. Thank you so much.
You know what I love about this project with the green screen? Y'all can't really see what I did here, so it's masterpiece level, okay? Museum quality happened. It happened. Evie, you are awesome. Oh my gosh. Like, okay, so first of all, the fact that he said that, oh, in 10 minutes you can do this with paint. Like, I can't do that with paint in an hour. So you're amazing. You're amazing.
I mean, you did it. It's great job. I love it. Beautiful, beautiful.
Right.
Thank
Maybe
you.
let's give a high five and get excited for all the things that come after this beautiful art making.
Art is so powerful, and this is just a snippet of the kind of experience our students have with Dreamline. Dreamline engages the heart in so many skills vital to thrive in today's world. And Dreamline also helps students understand and empathize with the world they are a part of. Dreams truly reach across borders. Dreamline's international reach is what connected us with Howard Blumenthal, the Emmy Award winning producer we will hear from next. Howard Blumenthal developed Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego for television in 1990 to help young people learn about the world they lived in. It is widely regarded as the second most influential TV show after Sesame Street and has been an important part of the lives of millions of children. Today, Howard is a senior scholar at the University of Pennsylvania Center for Positive Psychology and is in the midst of writing a groundbreaking book on the future of education. But in the past few weeks, he took time to interview 7 Dreamline students around the world. You'll see one of them next, and then we'll hear from Howard on dreams, Dreamline, and the future of education. Welcome, Howard Blumenthal.
With no money, people with money, they get a lot of privileges than people with no money. Racism is just the same as inequality, but in different categories. Inequality in treatment, inequality in money, inequality in everything. I want to fulfill my dreams first so I can make an effort in this world. Because right now, I can't really do anything because we're just in a world that I think won't change right now. But when I grow up, I would like to change the world when I'm growing, while I'm growing. I don't think that when I will grow up, I will just look back on this video and think that, okay, I'm so busy. I would still want to make a change. That's the thing that's been with me since even when I was 6 years old, because I would see a lot of people getting mistreated by others around me in my society, and I couldn't say it, I couldn't tell them something because they were so older than me. They were like parents and people on the streets, and I couldn't go and tell them that's wrong, that you can't do that, you can't. They wouldn't listen to me. They will just tell me I'm a child. But when I'm older, I think people would start to listen to older people than to children. So I'm not gonna let go of my dream.
Hello. She was terrific. That's Noor from Egypt. as I recall. So welcome everybody, and thanks everybody for joining and for having me be a part of this. I can give you a little bit of the sense of the journey that I've gone on to learn a bit about how kids think around the world and how different they are now from the ones that we raised in the 20th century, and how their needs are completely different as well. So here's what happened. It turns out it's 30 years ago. Somebody's interviewing me on Friday. It's 30 years ago that Carmen Sandiego hit the airwaves on PBS, and it became a big hit and an important show and all that. But for me, the frustration was we were doing everything in the studio. We weren't really talking to people about the world or what the world looked like or anything else. So I wanted to get out and actually meet kids from all around the world. A dream at that point of somebody who was 9 years old and kind of always wanted to do that. And I was able to, which was kind of great. Um, I went to schools when I was running a public television operation, and then I went to schools afterwards and said, I need to figure out what to do next. And the kids said, we don't know enough about the world. Could you go and interview kids around the world and bring it back to us so we can get a sense of what life is like in Bulgaria or Slovenia or India or elsewhere? I figured, well, the internet has that already. It turned out it didn't so much. So we've got about 1,000 short form videos now, each with kids from all over the world. And they've been universally terrific and as articulate as Noor was, and also very focused on what their future looks like and how they're going to get there. And that's the remarkable part about this. What we do as kids, what they do as kids, is already changing the world. They already have a pretty clear focus of what they want to do and how to get there, because there's so much information available now from so many different places. The trick is that schools and our education system are still in the 20th century. They have not caught up. So we have teachers, we have parents whose reality is a 20th century reality, and we have kids, and use Greta Thunberg as an example, who are living a 21st century reality, seeing what the adults of the 20th century have not done about climate change, have not prepared in a pandemic, and have set up a school system that is simply old fashioned and out of date. And this is a model that is carried throughout the world. So what happens? The kids use the internet, certainly, but they also learn from one another. And the reason they do that is fascinating. The reason they do that is because we as adults, the one big change we've made is said to kids around the world, to the kids in our family, the kids in our classes, is you have agency. You have the ability to make decisions on your own. This is the very first generation of young people we have ever had on earth that we've said that to. You can work out your identity. You can work out your gender preference. You can work out what you want to do and where you want to do it. And that is all now possible for, let's call it, half of 2.4 billion kids. And that's 0 through 18. It's a little harder for an infant to do that. It's not so hard for a 13 or 14 or 15-year-old to figure that out. So we're in a different era. So what Dreamline does, and I think very effectively, is it asks the question, what do you want yourself? What do you want the world to be as you're growing up? And the answer is not a future-oriented answer. It's a present day answer. It's the reality these kids are putting together for themselves as they go crisis to crisis, as they go through taking in the news media, the same news media that adults do, as they're seeing the inadequacies of school, as they're building on friendships and relationships and all of that. It's their world. It's already their world. And that's the reason that I'm writing a book called Our Whole World in Their Hands, because we've done the handoff already. We've done the handoff far earlier than our parents or their parents did. We've set up a world where children can communicate with children in other countries, and they can do that freely and with very few rules in most places and in most households. We've given them portable devices to do that. We've given them the ability to look up the answer to virtually any question. We've also opened the door to some things that maybe we prefer they would not see or do. But we haven't established the rules yet to be able to carve out a proper society. There's actually a big celebration this morning. for the passage of the Five Rights in England, which sets up a series of rights for children online that really should be applied to adults as well. The freedom to delete and that sort of thing. That's part of a much larger suite of the rights that we are in the process of granting to young people that we've never granted before. We're changing the definition of childhood. We're changing the definition of what it is to be an individual human on this planet. And we're doing that at a time when community has eroded, when schools are finding it very difficult to do the job that they now need to do because they were never set up to do that job, at a time when children and teenagers are accepting more and more individual responsibility for the planet, for themselves, for their families, for figuring out what their future looks like. All of this is happening at the same time. We really need to listen to the kids and to pay much more attention than any generation of adults ever has in the history of the world. And yet, this is all new for most of us. It's a different way of thinking. And as we do, we must think globally, because the action for these kids is not going to be in the United States and Europe. The action is going to be in sub-Saharan Africa and in Southern Asia, because that's where by far the largest populations on Earth will be. And that's where the economies and the jobs will grow. And that's where the people who will repopulate the United States and Europe will be, because we're not producing enough babies. And it goes on. It's a fascinating subject, and I'm really glad to be on this journey with all of you. And I'm honored to be here tonight. And I do hope that those who are watching will think kindly as they consider how much to contribute to Dreamline, because I think the work they're doing is extraordinary. So thank you very much. I'm happy to answer questions if there is time to do that.
Howard, thank you so much. That was truly amazing. I think it's so important for everyone to hear in all parts of the world. We're very grateful to have you here tonight.
My pleasure.
I was just really riveted. I mean, I remember the show when it first came out, and I really love the fact that you are continuing to do this amazing work in the world. And thank you so much for joining us here tonight to be a part of this really exciting experience.
A pleasure. Thank you.
Groundbreaking work and what inspiring work altogether.
And
Thank
fun, and fun.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Howard. And thank you for being one of our Mentor Magic volunteers as well. What's Mentor Magic? It's a raffle drawing for tonight's event. Everyone who makes a contribution tonight or who already made one gets a chance to win our Mentor Magic raffle drawing. If you win, you or a young person you know gets a one-on-one Zoom call with one of the following mentors.
Howard Blumenthal, you just heard from him, and there's no better mentor for creative mass media and how to change the world.
I'm sorry. Nicole Stott, NASA astronaut, artist, and founder of the Space for Art Foundation. She not only has traveled to space, but also gets kids art there by putting it on spacesuits.
Andrew Brennan, National Geographic Fellow and co-founder of the Pritchard Committee Student Voice Team for Improving Public Schools. He's one of the most accomplished student activist organizers in the world.
Lily Baldwin, with work in the Sundance Film Festival, along with many others, Lily's art as a filmmaker, choreographer, and performer is a creative catalyst that will inspire any artistic young person.
Marjorie Margalis, former TV journalist, U.S. Congressmember, and founder of Women's Campaign International, an organization that empowers women and girls around the world through programs and partnerships that change lives. Guys, we have some amazing folks here, and I'm really excited and hope that you win, because I mean, like, the opportunity to be with any of them is going to be fantastic. Dreamline creates global connections, and Dreamline creates person-to-person connections. This has been happening spontaneously since Dreamline started, and as we carry out our strategic plan, will be happening big time across the globe. Here's an example of what happens when two dreamers and doers connect. J. Warren Mitchell has that stellar voice that we heard at the beginning of the program. Oh my gosh, his voice is haunting. And as he sang those words of Langston Hughes, Jay Mitchell is, it was just like, yeah, it really caught me. Jay Mitchell is a rising star in the operatic world and has been called the new young Pavarotti in reviews. No surprise there. James Battle is a 12-year-old young man who lives in Prince George, Virginia, and he participated in Dreamline Online this year. It was a great camp that we did. I had the chance to meet him in the Zoom in the Zoom call we did last fall, which was this really great session, and I'm really pleased to see him again today. What you'll hear now are some brief highlights of a conversation between James and Jay on dreams, fun, the future, and what really matters.
Everybody is equal. My biggest dream is that racism would be over forever. No matter what we look like, everybody's the exact same, and we are all children to God.
And you and I are going to be talking on the big performance thing. Yeah? How does that make you feel? You pretty stoked about that, yeah?
It makes me feel happy and proud of myself.
Yes, exactly. You should, man.
Besides like singing opera, what do you like to do like in free time?
So in my free time, I like to salsa dance.
In my free time, I like to either play with my friends. So I used to like play outside with my friends a lot, but then we haven't really played a lot
Yeah.
because of COVID.
All right. So now let's talk about dreams, right? I want to tell you, I really dig your banner, man. It was really nice. You know, everybody is equal, and that you know, you said that your biggest dream is that racism would be over like forever, and I thought that was beautiful because uh, my dream is also very similar to that. Like there are things about the world that I see that I think aren't right, and I think they're not good. And so I think that we as people, we have the power to try and do our part to try to bring our world back into this place of harmony, you know what I mean? Where everybody is equal and nobody's treated any differently, you know what I mean? If the universe says you can have or you can be whatever or whoever you want to be, what do you want?
I used to want to be an NFL player, but now I'm a lawyer.
You want to be a lawyer?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I think it's important to me because there are a lot of people who might get like or in trouble for something they didn't do and that isn't fair. So I just want to help them get their freedom back so they can just be happy again.
You want to do a good thing for other people, says you have a good heart, says that you're a good person, you know, and don't ever let anybody take that goodness away from you, you know, and in life, always be the best version of yourself and always want to help people, like we said.
When did you first realize you wanted to be an opera singer?
I'll be real with you. When I was in college, I allowed myself not to think about my dream because I knew that my dream was going to be hard because I was an African American man. And that's why I showed you that picture of Leontine Price, because she's an African American woman and she was able to be successful. And I'm an African American man. And there are not a whole lot of other people in opera who were men of color. And so I didn't really have that confidence to be an opera singer. So I kind of thought maybe, nah, I don't want to do that. That's too hard, right? But when I went to graduate school, because I got my master's, I found this teacher, and this teacher started to build my voice in such a way, man. Like I started singing, man. I was like, wow, this is great. And so then I started to think, well, maybe I don't need to teach anymore. And so I made a decision. I said to my students, it was a very sad time, man. I remember it like it was yesterday. I went to my concert, and at the end of the concert, I told my students, guys, I'm not gonna come back next year. I'm gonna go sing opera. And I said, I have a chance to follow my dream. I'm going to follow my dream. And my students were very sad that I left. I knew that I wanted to be an opera singer when I found my voice, but it was already after I was teaching. So it kind of just happened for me, man. It was an absolute pleasure for me to meet you. And you're going to do great things in your life. And I can't wait to see you do it. All right. So you make me a promise that you're going to be somebody great and you're going to do great things. Yeah.
Yep. I will.
That's it. That's it, man.
Yo, you guys are so adorable.
So inspiring. I'm so amazingly inspired.
Welcomes, James. Welcomes, Jay.
Hi, how are you guys? Nice to be here.
Hey guys.
Great work, James.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. That was an awesome conversation. And oh my gosh, I just love hearing about both of your dreams. Thank you so much for this contribution today.
Welcome.
My pleasure. Yeah, I'm so happy to be a part of this. So happy that Jeffrey asked me to be a part of this. I had no idea it was going to happen. It's kind of that serendipity of the universe, you know, when I had these pieces of music and Jeffrey is a good friend. Well, he's familiar with my professor at Auburn University. I'm an Auburn grad of Dr. Rosephanie Powell. And so the opportunity to perform these songs was one thing. And then he asked me to talk to James. And I was just so glad and happy that I was going to have a chance to speak to a young person and do my part of being a person who's trying to do some good in the world and achieve dreams and reach back and pour into the cup of James so that he can go on and do greater things.
Awesome. And James is turning out to be an awesome interviewer. So that idea about becoming a lawyer sounds like it's right up his alley.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
And how are you, James?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. There are a lot of mosquitoes here, but I'm doing good.
James is looking very spiffy in that suit. Last time that I saw you back in the fall, you were a little bit more casual, but he came ready. He came ready tonight for this gala. Looking very good.
Yes, indeed.
I like that blue color. Oh, blue is one of my favorite colors. So wonderful.
He's amazing. He's amazing.
And is that a, I'm sorry, but James, is that a pocket square that I see?
It's a pocket square.
Oh, you know, and are we matching? We both have white pocket squares. Look at that, man of distinction, yeah?
Trust for success.
Well, that's all so beautiful. Now is the time when Jay, James, Howard, Laura, Evie, and I, and everyone in the Dream community are asking you to give so much that thousands of students can experience Dreamline next year. Jeffrey is going to tell you more about that.
Remember your PayPal password and dig out that credit card.
And now let's hear from Jeffrey.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I am so moved by this program and what I've been able to see here. I know these people have talked about me inviting them, but many of the elements I've never actually seen in the entirety before. And it is truly an honor and to host such an extraordinary group of people at this, our very first virtual gala. As I think about what has been said this evening, I can't help but touch on that point that Howard Blumenthal made about our schools and the way there's this mismatch, right, between what is happening in our schools and the world our students live in. And I truly believe that the Dreamline program is offering a bridge for schools to meet students where they are, and I'll tell you about that. The other element that is so compelling to me is that what if that Laura Jana talked about. And I'll ask you to think with me for a moment. What if every student especially in upper and middle school? What if every student has that a part of their educational experience, an intentional experience, an intentional invitation to think about what they care about, to state it, and to then become connected with others who share their passion and their dreams? What if the program that Dreamline has envisioned for the next 4 years makes that not a what if, but a when? It takes your support and the support of others, but we're beginning now. This next year, the year we are going to fund, is going to be a year when Dreamline can grow to serve twice as many students every year over the next few years and develop the tools to scale to a much larger extent. And at the end of 4 years, we will be looking to create experiences for students that connect them directly through mobile technology. We will be creating experiences that make the kind of mentorship that you just saw in action between Jay Warren Mitchell and James a common occurrence. And we can do this. We have the plan, we have the vision, and now we're asking for your support. So let me tell you about what your support can do and how you can do it now. Okay. Jeffrey's challenge for the slides, and there we are. This is the support that you can give and the impact that it's going to have. And this is what we're going to do right now. We're just going to stop the program and we're going to have this moment for you to take out that phone and or use your computer and make a contribution right now. And let me talk to you a little bit about what it's going to do. You know, for every $5,000 that we can bring in, or for your $5,000, an entire school can experience the Dreamline program like Ferry Pass Middle School that's been doing it as a whole school every year, their whole middle school for many years. For $1,000, a whole grade level, like the entire 7th grade that participated in this program from Longstreth Elementary School in Philadelphia, an entire grade can have this experience of discovering, believing in, and acting on their dreams. Right? Or for a class, $250 contribution, an entire class, like the 3rd graders in Ed Clapp Elementary School in Fargo, North Dakota. That whole class gets to experience Dreamline with that contribution. Or even for $35, 2 students who wouldn't otherwise have that experience will have the ability to do it. So I'm inviting you right now to think about your own dreams, what Evie said about the whole that you want to fill in the world, about what Howard said, about what Laura said, about what you felt when you listened to James and Jay talk to each other. And I'm going to put on another song that is going to knock your socks off. It is also a song from Rosafani Powell, who's arranged this song that's words are by Langston Hughes, sung by Jay Warren Mitchell. And you're going to take out your phone and you're either going to text Dreamline to this number, and that number is going to appear on your screen as he's singing, so you can get it right there. You're going to text that number, and that gives you a quick link to make a contribution. Or you can go right to dreamline.org/give, and you can use a credit card, you can use PayPal. Those are the ways that you can contribute. And I just want to take a moment now so that we all have an opportunity to make these dreams a reality. Thank you.
To sit and dream, to sit and read, to sit and learn about the world, to sit and dream, to sit and read. to sit and learn about the world, to sit and dream, to sit and read, to sit and learn about the world. Outside a world of here and now, outside a world, our problem world, our problem world. Outside a world of here and now, outside a world, our problem world, our problem world. To dream of vast horizons of the soul, of dreams made whole, unfettered, free. Help me, help me. All you who are dreamers too. I reach out my hand to you. All you who are dreamers too, help me make our world anew. To sit and dream, dream.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. That was beautiful. And thank you everyone who donated.
It gives me goosebumps to hear him sing like that and to hold that note so beautifully and release. Oh, thank you so much, Jay.
You have an amazing voice, and I am grateful to everybody that got to listen to you. I am so grateful that you held on to your dream and that you recognized that moment when you got to choose you. And so thank you. Just thank you. Thank you for that.
Now, last but not least, Adam, we get to hear highlights from a conversation between an inspiring professional artist and an equally inspiring Dreamline student artist.
Artist and illustrator Steffi Walthall, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. I apologize if I'm not. Connected with Dreamline because of the New York Times book, Finish the Fight, that came out this year to celebrate and amplify marginalized voices in the fight for women's suffrage in the US. She did the cover and much more. Her work has been in the New Yorker, Netflix promotions, and on many other book jackets. Her values and dreamlines are so in line that she not only welcomed the chance to talk with one of our students, but offered to create something really special just for this event.
Mei Chang lives in Lexington, Massachusetts, and like James, participated in Dreamline in one of our virtual programs. She's currently in 5th grade and doing homeschooling with her mom during the pandemic. Here are some highlights from more than an hour's conversation between May and Steffi about their art, their lives, and their dreams. And after we watch this, we're coming right back for the big reveal of original artwork Steffi created just for Dream Forward. Only the producers of this event and Steffi have seen it so far. I truly can't wait.
I hope someday people wouldn't have to live in the dark, that they wouldn't fear the world. I hope someday people would stop hating or shaming others just because of how they look or feel. I hope someday people would stop blaming things on themselves. I hope someday that greed would stop. I hope someday we would see a new chapter of our lives in happiness and in the light. I hope I look up to artists like you.
Aww. High five.
Yay.
But like with something like this, finish the fight, or like this book cover for Charming as a Bird.
Are you wrong? Then this is like my other hand. Yeah, this one I actually filled in.
May, those are so good.
What is your dream?
Man, that was about to be my question for you. So I guess I'm just gonna ask you the same thing back. What is my dream? My dream is that I can work on books and work on other types of, I don't want to say content because that sounds really like clinical, right? Like it's just like content. But I want to be able to work on books and stuff so that people that look like me and kids that look like me and kids that look like you, and kids that normally don't see themselves in books or on book covers, and even adults that don't see themselves in books and on book covers can see themselves represented. You know, I think that that's super important. It's one of the things that I've been really fortunate and really glad to have been able to be a part of. I guess that's my dream. I just want to like draw people, like represent people through my artwork, and hopefully those people will get inspired to also do art and like see me, and they'll be like, oh man, I can do that too. And that's what I want. I want people to like come and take my place, do art. More like we need more Black people doing art. We need more brown people doing art. We need more girls named May doing art, and like making book covers and making games and making stuff, because our voices are important. That's my dream, you know. What's yours, May?
I want to grow up to be a very independent and smart woman.
So you want big muscles and also
Yeah.
a big brain.
Yeah.
It's like both. Just like, huh. That's exciting. I'm gonna follow that. I also hope that for you, May. I really do. But thank you so much for like interviewing me and asking me all these really good questions. And thank you for letting me get to know you. That's been super awesome. You're super awesome. You're really cool.
Thank you. You are too.
Thank you. I also hope that I get my due dates done in time. And I hope that you like what I drew for the Dreamline Gala.
Thank you too. It's been such a great honor to talk to you, Steffi.
It's been an honor to talk to you too, May. Bye.
Bye. Stay safe.
She is so dope. Oh my gosh, I get so inspired just listening to everybody, and Steffi and May and you guys sharing your art and just kind of inspiring each other. It was beautiful. This is so beautiful. I am such a geek right now. This is gorgeous.
Thank you so much.
Welcome, Steffi.
Thank you, everyone.
Hi, May.
Thank you, May, for all of that beauty and inspiration.
May, that was great. You should unmute yourself.
Thank you so much, guys, for letting me have the opportunity to be in Dreamline. It's just such a pleasure to be here, and I've grown so much. And I just want to thank you all.
Thank you for sharing your dreams. Thank you for sharing your evening with us. I'm just going to be sitting back watching you. I know you're going to do something, and I there's nothing else to do. We're just going to sit back and watch what you do next.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was a very exciting. And now I know there's something very exciting coming up. I'm going to invite Vivian's son and also Barbara Bassett to come on to our virtual stage. And I think also Camille Batchelor is going to join us right here at this moment as well. While they're coming on, I'll just introduce Vivian Sun is one of the co-chairs of this event, also on our board of directors, and serves as program manager for global giving at Salesforce. And Barbara Bassett is also a co-chair of this event on our board of directors and is the director of student and teacher experiences at the Philadelphia Museum of Art. So thank you very much to both of you. And welcome to the virtual stage. Barbara, we have a big moment coming up right now, and I'd just like you to ask Steffi a few questions about the incredible artwork that we are about to see.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm really excited to see the piece, Steffi. I can't wait, actually, and it's so gracious of you to have made this for Dreamlines. I'm wondering, if you could talk a little bit about what it was about Dreamlines that you were thinking about when you were making the work.
I was thinking about a lot of things. When we initially had the conversation, just in general about this event, I was thinking, like, I just got really inspired initially, and that doesn't happen super often, where it's just like, burst of inspiration. But I was just thinking about like how cool it would be to like have this sort of like to tie all the big elements of like Dreamline, like the banners and like the idea of like you putting your dreams like out there into the world, because Jeffrey and Camille are like so like charismatic and inspiring to talk to, so it's really easy to come up with something when you're working with people like that and just like a program like this.
Thank you so much, Steffi, and thanks, Barbara. Now that was just a teaser. We're going to see her work in a few minutes, but before then, Vivian's going to tell us a little bit about what the results are from You Got It.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for letting me to be part of this very special day. The grand announcement from the result of today's event so far is that we have garnered 22 new donors and raised $4,680. Altogether, as a total, we have 110 unique donors for fundraised total of $35,180. So thank you. And please consider additional contribution at a meaningful level that's meaningful to you, especially you have not done so.
And I'm going to just add on to that and say it's $35,180, which is terrific. But I would love to see it get up to $36,000 with a few more contributions before we close our show. There's only a couple of minutes left, but you can see that information right up there to make your contribution or to add a little bit more to what you already gave. Okay, you've got a couple of minutes to do that while we're doing something special. Camille?
My one big line is "and now" for the big reveal.
This is so cool.
God.
Oh, Steffi, fantastic.
Thank you. I'm glad you all like it.
Steffi, thank you so much. And to our audience also, we did this in a special way. So I have never seen this before this moment. Actually, only 2 people saw it, Camille and the director of this production. So extraordinarily gratified to see this incredible visualization of the dreams that come from the heart and that move us forward in a positive and impactful way into our lives for all of us. And thinking of, you know, what Howard said about this program not only directly benefits the students who engage in it, but also has the capacity to help each and every one of us as we listen to the dreams of our children. And as Dreamline has as one of its primary functions, a public-facing conscious effort to move the student dreams out into the world. So that's one of the reasons that we're doing what we're doing. And Steffi, you understood that so beautifully and articulated it in ways which, as I like to say to students, can't be said with words. Thank you.
Wow.
Now, I do want to say that if you want to know what's going to happen to that image, you are going to have to follow us on social media, because there are going to be some ways that you could get a copy of it in various forms. Camille, where should they go?
They should go to @GlobalDreamline. That is like the @ Global Dreamline. That's it.
Okay, @Global Dreamline. So I think that's on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And we will be doing that. We will also be posting the raffle drawing. So if you made a contribution today, you could be the winner of that. And we will announce it first on our social media channels and then through other means. Great. Vivian, do you have any news for us?
I do. We got 5 more donors, and I'm just doing a really quick tally in real time. But I think we've raised an additional, let's see, $625.
Okay, excellent job. Okay, good job. So at this moment, we are only about 15 minutes over, which is pretty extraordinary for all that went into this gala. It is my pleasure to welcome onto the virtual stage. I want all the partners who are involved in this. Pat Lamort, though, I want you to bring yourself on right now, please. There he is. Okay, he is the head of K-12 education at Zoom. He is one of our board of advisors, and he is the person who directed this show. So just some kudos and thank you to Pat for pulling this all together. And now I'd like the rest of the team. There is an extraordinary team that made all this happen. Barbara, Vivian, Pat, Eric, Sarah, Angel, Grace, Abigail, Dan, Ann, and all of our wonderful talents, Steffi, Jay, Ibianca, James, May, and Howard, and Laura, and so many more people that have made this event possible. So you can unmute yourselves, people. And I just want to say a great thank you to each and every one of you. This has been an extraordinary first virtual gala for Dreamline, and I have a feeling that it will not be the last. And so I will also say that this is the beginning of a year-long fundraising campaign that Dreamline will be engaged in. We appreciate your support, each and every one of you. 86 people are still here, which is very and you will be hearing from us about other ways that your contribution are making a real difference in the lives of children. I know. In ways that you can help us broaden our community even further. Thank you so much. If you can hear us, you can still donate. Okay, thank you.
All right, and we're off in 3, 2, 1.